after me. Let's go with number one. I am a powerful solar professional.
I am a powerful solar professional.
I do business morally and ethically.
I do business morally and ethically.
I am successful, intelligent, and confident.
I'm successful, intelligent, and confident.
I do not depend on luck or unrealistic possibilities.
I do not
depend on luck or unrealistic possibilities.
I am making a positive impact in the world and in the lives of others.
I am making a positive impact in the world and the lives of others.
I radiate with confidence and people feel that.
I radiate with confidence and people feel that.
I am building a renewable energy empire.
I am building a renewable energy empire.
Therefore, money comes easily and frequently and in increasing quantities.
Therefore, money comes easily and frequently will increase quantities.
Let's go.
All right. I heard somebody copy the way you said it. Somebody said quantities, like you said. That's coachable right there, man. All right. All right. Well, let's put everybody on mute and everybody's camera off, because in 2 seconds, not 2 seconds, but in 2 minutes, Jessica's going to be removing everybody with their camera off. As you guys saw, that is a news, and that's coming as a request from Jessica. That wasn't my request. She says, JC, I think I need to just delete people without, because they're not really present. I say, hey, do your thing. Just kidding. We're not going to remove you guys, but we are going to ask, turn on your cameras, okay? If you guys come on here, I remember, I've been in the industry, direct sales, network marketing. I'm 40 years old. I've been in this industry since I was 18. And it was every Monday evening from 7 p.m. to about 9:30, we had to be right by the LAX for training every doggone Monday. And at the same location, we had to be there every Thursday in person. It wasn't the convenient world that we live in. This is the convenient world that we live in is, hey, I pop on from my computer on my phone and my camera while I'm in the toilet, keep my camera off, and it's very convenient. Well, a convenient life like that doesn't lead to success, right? Back then, Uber Eats didn't exist. You wanted some food, you either make it at home or you get out your car, get out your house, get in your car, drive somewhere and pick up some food, right? So think about it. We have so many, and I talk about this often, we have so many advantages these days, but yet people's income levels are not. I believe that people are getting poorer and poorer with inflation. Yeah, they may be making more money per hour or per week or per month, but with inflation, people don't realize, because it's like a frog that's getting cooked, right? A frog that's getting cooked. How do you cook a frog? Little by little, you put it in room temperature water and you gradually pull up the temperature. You pull up the temperature gradually, and eventually they don't even realize it's a cooked frog. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of people. They're getting cooked like a frog. And let me tell you something, discipline trumps all. How many people here would like to have Ramsey Clark, by a show of hands? And I could only see those of you guys with the camera on. FYI. How many of you guys here would like to have Ramsey Clark's skills and charisma? Yes, right? That'd be awesome. How many people here would like to have Jonathan Brunasso's skills in selling solar? Oh, yeah. How many people here would like to have some of my skills? Okay, great. None of those skills matter if you do not have discipline. And if we don't have discipline to start off the week right with simply attending on time, write this down for your notes. And I'm going to ask you guys to take notes. On time, okay? Early is on time. On time is late. And late is unheard of. We got to hold to another standard. This is another standard. If you now here's the deal. If you want to live a mediocre life and build a mediocre business, then it doesn't necessarily apply to you. But if you say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, I want to do something great, I want to win, I don't want to be average, I want to set myself apart from everybody else, I recommend that you adopt some of these philosophies that we're dropping every week. So not only get on here early, be ready, show your face, right? Get on here and be excited, because let me now I want to do a disclaimer. Some of you guys may be listening and watching this from work. I'm not trying to get you fired. All right. So that does not apply to you. Here's the thing. You can lie to me. You can lie to your sponsor. You can lie to Jonathan Budd, but we cannot lie to ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we know, hey, man, was I on that training multitasking and not taking it serious? Did I not have my camera on because I just don't want to get outside of the comfort zone to get my camera on? See, it doesn't matter what you tell me. At the end of the day, the solution and the problem are both in the same place. When you brush your teeth this morning, that was a solution. That is a problem, right? One of the things that I learned a long time ago is, you are where you are today, JC. A mentor told me this. You are where you are today, JC. Your bank account is where it's at right now. Your level of happiness is where it's at right now. Your health and your weight and your well-being is where it's at right now because of one person, you. Now here's what he told me. He says, you want to know how you know that you're not talking to a winner? When you know you're not talking to a winner is when that individual is consistently pointing the finger at other people. They're consistently a victim, and victims do three things. They blame, they complain, and they justify. They blame, complain, and justify. They blame other people. They complain about their circumstances. They complain about the project managers. They complain about the training. They complain about this. They complain about the schedules. They complain about everything. Then they're blaming everybody else. They never blame themselves. Then they justify. You know what, man? This isn't even for me. You know what? Money isn't the most important thing anyways. You know what? Blah, 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 blah. They three attributes. They blame, complain, and justify. He says a winner keeps it simple, man. A winner takes 100% responsibility for everything every time. It is what it is. If it's to be, it's up to me, right? If it's to me, if it's to be, it's up to me. And one thing that made a lot of sense. Then I realized, oh, okay, man, I'm just giving you guys some heat early on, right? And then I realized, here's another thing that I realized in building a business. Winners know that it starts with them, because your team will do 50% of what you do right. If you're lucky, I want you to remember this. Your team will do 50% of what you do right and 100% of what you do wrong. Go out there and mess around. You want people to attend the training? Do you want your team, even if you don't have a team, you got to be the person. Now, remember, it's be, do, have. Write that down. Be, do, have. You want to be successful. There's a philosophy. Here's how you achieve it. In this universe, in this world, here's how it works. Be, do, have. Here's what I mean. You got to be the person. What is a person that's making whatever that income that you desire is? $500,000, $1 million a year, 150,000, whatever the number is for you. What does that person look like? Meaning, are they sharp? Are they on time? Right? Are they serious? Are they taking notes? Are they consistent, etc.? You got to be that person now, right? The next one is do, because if you actually embody that person now, you will do the things that person does, and then only then will you have those things. But most people want it backwards. They want to first have. JC, Jonathan, if I had the money, the team, the confidence that you've got, my goodness, I'd be showing up to training every day. I'd be prospecting every day. I'd be motivated every day. Well, it doesn't work that way. You don't go have, do, and be. You got to first be the person. Remember this. If you could have the things that you wanted, being the person that you are right now, you would have already had them. If you could have the things that you desired, the things that your heart desires, if you could have those things, being the person you are right now, you'd already have it. The reason why most people don't have these things is because guess what? They are not that person. When nobody's looking, who are you? When nobody's looking, who are you? Some of you guys that went to the convention, one of the things I said on stage, I said, here's the deal. Champions are not made in the ring. They're just recognized there. Top leaders, top mentors, million-dollar earners are not made on that stage. They're just recognized there. You know when they're made? They're made out on the field. They're made when they're in their home office or their regular office making phone calls, getting rejections, getting on training and sharpening their axe. Getting on training and sharpening their axe, sharpening their axe, sharpening their axe. Not making excuses when they're faced with challenges, they realize this is an opportunity to grow. Even if you're in traffic and you got a guy that cuts you off, instead of getting mad, how about think, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to grow. Sounds good. Let's make it happen. And listen, we all fall short, of course, right? I probably am one of the ones that falls short the most frequently, but I'm working on it, right? So anyways, I wanted to just share those things with you. So and by the way, believe it or not, all of that started, thank you, by the way, Michelle. All of that started because I wanted to drive a message of putting your cameras on. By the way, that's what kicked this whole thing off. So let's get it going. So here's the deal. I am teaching on this book. If you guys didn't see the first episode, it's 3 weeks ago. I recommend you guys going to the YouTube channel. And by the way, can somebody post that week's episode on here and subscribe to that channel so you could get these consistently, right? By the way, for those of you locals, we're going to be here at 11 a.m. I'm fully expecting you to be here at 11 a.m. sales meeting every Monday. We're not asking for so much. Show up. Let's collaborate. Let's talk about your sales. Let's talk about questions. Let's talk about, what we've got to talk about. So remember, today, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have opportunity presentation this evening. Tomorrow, training with Jonathan Brunasso it might not be Jonathan. He's on vacation, but that training is still happening tomorrow thank you, Ramsey. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. Every Monday and Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, these trainings are happening. They should be on your calendar. Don't rely on somebody reminding you. Don't rely on getting tagged on Facebook. You should come on because you are a leader, because you identify I'm the guy, I'm the girl that shows up. I don't need somebody to remind me or motivate me. Okay, so we're training on this book, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional or a Direct Sales Professional, and we are on skill number 2. So this is week number 2. Guess what week number 2 is about? I'll show you. This is the 7 skills to building a huge organization. This is a best-selling book. Millions of copies of this book have been sold, by the way. Okay, this is the number 2 book I recommend in all of network marketing direct sales to read. This one and also building an empire. So we're training today on skill number 2, inviting prospects to understand your product or opportunity. I'm reading it backwards, by the way, on the screen. That's why it's hard for me to read it. So I've got a couple highlighted. When I read books, I like to highlight the important sections, right? So we're talking about inviting. So I'm going to get a little bit into the invites, a little bit into the script, but more than anything, what's the name of the book? The name of the book is GoPro 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional by Eric Worre. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to read some of the highlighted stuff and I'm going to elaborate on some of these things. So he says here in this section, the other thing I noticed with the professionals is that they didn't pitch their product or opportunity. Instead, when the timing was appropriate, they just invited the people to do one of 2 things based upon the individual prospect situation. Instead, these professionals, they didn't come off salesy. They didn't come off like a pitch. They were smooth. One of the things I learned a long time ago is you got to ask yourself this. If it was 007 in this business, you guys know 007, right? He likes his martinis shaken, not what? Stirred, right? Cool, calm, and collected cat. So when I'm prospecting, whether somebody that I know or somebody I don't know, I like to envision myself like I'm 007 in this business. I'm the 007 in the business. So I'm going to be cool, calm, collected. I'm not going to be overselling the information. I'm not going to be over eager. I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected. So that's what he says. So he says, they invite people to do one of 2 things. So we're going to talk about what those things are. First thing they did was to invite people to attend some sort of event, such as a one-on-one or a 2-on-1 meeting with another member of their team, or a 3-way phone call or a three-way phone call, or a small group presentation in their home, or an online webinar, or a local hotel, or some larger company event or convention. Professionals understand that personal interaction is a critical component when it comes to building trust and transferring belief. That's, by the way, that's what sales is a transference of beliefs, right? So they try to connect with people as much as possible. Okay, so the first thing that they do is that they get them, they always try to invite them to some sort of event. Perfect example, today at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, there's an opportunity webinar. How often are you prospecting people and inviting them to check out your business? So a prospecting webinar is a great way. When we had the convention last week on Thursday evening, there was an opportunity presentation. In that opportunity presentation, there was a lot of guests there. Guess what? That's what they're referring to, right? Also, some of you guys that have your opportunity, Super Saturdays and things like that. That's what we're referring to. Then he says, the second thing they did was to invite people to review some sort of tool. It's very important. They invited people to review some sort of tool. I'm a big believer in using tools to help educate the prospect. Tools take many forms. They could be, and this is an old book, by the way, they could be CDs, DVDs, magazines, brochures, websites, online presentations, okay, etc. So the tools, one of the things I talk about, he says here that a tool is a great way to educate the customer. Yes, it's also a great way to pique the prospect's interest, whether that is on solar. So for example, there's a couple of really cool videos that I use for homeowners. So let's say I got a homeowner that is on the ropes. Yeah, I've considered solar, but we never really looked into it much. But I'm not getting the bill yet. I'll tell you what, Mr. Customer. Let's pretend it's Sam. I'll tell you what, Sam. I get it. You know what I mean? I know that you got to talk to your wife and see if you guys would consider a solar proposal. In the meantime, let me do this. How about I send you over a 4-minute video that will give you a little bit of education on solar, okay? And, in another video that's about 3 minutes long, that'll give you a customer testimonials from our companies. That sound fair enough? If I send you those videos, would you take 3-4 minutes to watch them? Would that be okay? Yes. Here's what I want to do. There are legitimately people out there that don't understand the benefits of solar. That there's a lot of people out there that they think that, oh, by the way, I'm going to share these videos here shortly. There's a lot of people that think, give me a second, this is my breakfast. There's a lot of people out there that think that when they go solar, they're going to have an electric bill and a solar bill. And yes, they are, but they think it's going to be the full electric bill plus an additional solar bill. Sometimes some of your prospects, they're telling you no because they think that that's the case. By the way, you got to make sure that they know, hey, listen, it is not one of these. So for example, when I pique their interest, sometimes they say, look, it sounds interesting. Then they'll give me what the real reason is. Here's the deal, man. I don't want to have 2 bills. Then I say, Sam, I'm so glad you said that. That happens to be one of the things that a lot of people that don't understand solar fully seem to think. They think that they're going to have their regular electric bill and that they're going to have a solar bill in addition to that. That would not make sense. Sam, if that was the case, I would not be in this business. So essentially what we're doing, Sam, is we're replacing your electric bill with a solar bill. Now you have a small fee, connection fee to the grid, but nevertheless, 95% of the time, financially, it totally makes sense. As a matter of fact, to the point where it'll cost you more money not to have solar than it does to have solar. But see, my point is I piqued his interest. I've got a video to pique, and if somebody could put it on here, solargoldrushvideo.com. solargoldrushvideo.com. That is a video that I created. I wrote the script for it. I paid to get somebody to make it. It's got a ton of views. It is a 3-minute video that piques the interest of the solar industry based on our company. So that link will send you over to a YouTube video. If I'm piquing somebody's interest, let's say it's Ramsey, and I ask Ramsey whether he's a friend. Let's say he's not a friend of mine. Let's say I met him, out and about. I say, hey, Ramsey, let me ask you something, bro. You're the sharpest guy I've seen all day, bro. What do you do for a living?
I work in I work in medicine. I'm actually a doctor.
Oh, wow. Nice, nice. That's awesome, man. Are you working a lot of hours with that?
Oh, too much, dude. It's, some nights I'm not even sleeping. I'm going 48 hours straight. I have surgeries scheduled. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know that's a good living, and I've had conversations like this with people in that field, doctors, matter of fact. And one of the things I consistently get is, of course, the money is great, but they don't have a whole lot of time, right? And so
Right.
what's funny is that one of my friends was a doctor one time said to me, what I dislike most about this is that somebody else is raising my kids, and that hit me hard, right? Like that was a real pain point for him. So, anyways, reason why I'm asking Ramsey is because the company I'm working with, I'm actually working on the national expansion, and we're actually looking to expand in this area. By any chance, do you keep your income options open?
I mean, if he can buy me back some time, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, right? I mean, we have a lot of people that work with us, Ramsey, that they make doctor type salaries and beyond, frankly. But they're not working nearly not even 40 hours a week, right? So if some, what I could do, Ramsey, is I could go ahead and send you a video, gives you a little bit of information. If you like that information, then we'll go ahead and have a longer conversation about it. Does that sound fair enough?
Awesome.
Perfect. What I would do is I would send him a video to pique his interest, right? Or let's say I led with Ramsey. If there was a way for you to replace what you're currently making and give you your time back, right? Work significantly less. Would you be open to looking at something that might possibly do that? The thing is that I am unemotionally attached to the result. And if you master, this is important. If you master being unemotionally attached to the result, you will be smoother when you say it. If you are emotionally attached to the response, the way that your pitch comes out, it's not going to be as powerful. You're not going to be as stoic. You're not going to be as confident. There's an importance for you and not only that, it's not going to flow as good. You're going to stutter more. Does that make sense? So I'm going to get into this a little bit more. So one of the two methods to educate prospects effectively is, physical interaction. We talked. The second one is that they invite people to review some sort of tool. We talked about that earlier. Of the two methods used to help educate the prospect, events are the most effective. That is true. Events are indeed the most effective. There are lots of reasons for that. There's physical interaction with meeting people. It helps build trust. The important element of social proof is important, right? So yes, if you get somebody to watch a tool, let's say a full presentation on YouTube or a peak interest video, that is effective. However, if they show up to an event, it is more effective because you've got the social proof. They get to meet other people. They get to, it's just more trustworthy, right? Not only that, they probably have less distractions if they're in a meeting with you than if they are just watching a video, because you never know. They might be watching the video while having dinner and they're multitasking. They're not really paying attention to the information, right? However, the tools are so powerful because you can peak a lot more people a lot faster. It is less time consuming for you and it's less time consuming for them. So let's keep reading. The only downside of events is that they can be difficult to schedule and confirm, especially for a brand new person. If you don't have the skills, then it's fairly common to invite 20 people and only get one or two to show up. And this could be discouraging. Makes sense. For building a large and duplicating organization, I have found that a tool is a better first step. Remember, our goal is to educate and understand, get people to understand. Okay, we want people to know that we have and understand how it can benefit their lives. A tool is a great way for people to become educated and hopefully excited in the middle of their busy lives. They might not have the time to drive across town to meet you, but they could listen to a CD in their car or watch a DVD or read a magazine or watch an online presentation. Obviously, as you guys can see, this book was written a lot of years ago. It was actually only written maybe 12 years ago. But nevertheless, back then, CDs and DVDs were a lot more prevalent than they are now, right? Nowadays, now check this out. This is very important that I want you guys to understand. That's why when you've got somebody that has been in this industry for a long time, I can appreciate things a little bit different than others. When I was starting, we used to buy peak interest DVDs. We used to buy them. They were like $5 a piece, but that was only if you bought like 3 or more, right? something like that. I don't remember the details, but if not, they were like $7. Each DVD was like $7, and it might have been like 3 for 15, something along those lines, right? So what it was is I would buy these DVDs, and we were not making $7,000 commissions, by the way. Okay, that was not a potential. For you to make $7,000, you got to have hundreds of people at the very minimum to make $7,000, not one customer, not one family member, right? So anyways, let's proceed. So when I would buy these DVDs, what I would do is we were encouraged to pass these out to 2 people per day. Keep 2 people per day's interest to give them to them. And the goal was to get it back. Hey, I'm going to let you borrow this DVD. So I pique his interest, I use a script, and then he accepts the DVD. Then I schedule a time to get that DVD back because I need to use it, give it to somebody else, because that's $5. I don't want him to keep it. I don't want him to lose it because then, you know, it cost me $5, right? Nowadays, remember I was talking about the comfort, how much more comfortable and how much easier things are these days. You don't have, you imagine every time you expose somebody, it costs you $5 unless you got that tool back. So when I look at it now, the world that we live in 2023 versus when I started in 2001, I'm like, dude, I don't even got to buy the tools. The tools are already created by the leadership. They're already proven to work. With a couple of clicks of a button, I can send it to them. I just got to do the work and contact somebody and get their interest, peak, and send them this video. Before I had to buy the tool, pick the interest, show up, drive to them, give it to them, follow up for a week or 2 or 3, however long it took for them to watch it, right? And then, you know, eventually I would try to get them to a physical meeting where I had to go and pick them up and drive them to a physical meeting, right? So that's 3-4 hours. You know, you got to be there. And I was at that meeting every single time. And that's how I built the business. In my early 20s, I was making $2-3 grand a month in a company called Prepaid Legal. And some of you guys may be familiar. It's now known as Legal Shield. Back then, it was called Prepaid Legal. I got to the executive director position in that company. My point is, now I could make some phone calls with some scripts that are given to me through a system that is proven to work by people that already have results. And by the way, these people that already have results have a financial incentive to show you what really works. See, I'm looking at Michael here. Michael's a part of my team. A lot of you guys, most of you guys, 95% of you on my team. Michael is a sharp gentleman on my team. I have a financial incentive to help Michael. If I get Michael to build a team of 100 or 200 or 1,000 people, and he's closing 10 deals a month, I financially benefit from that. I also financially benefit from the sales that he does. Now, that's not the only reason why I help him. And a lot of you guys that are not on my team, you know, my office is open to anybody, right? But my point is this. The system is being taught that is a system that works, and it is a lot easier. But life has become so convenient to people that people have become soft and they're not resilient like they used to be. In other words, people are not built like they used to be built. People are not used to being uncomfortable. Kids these days don't go out and play and jump off of trees and do all this stuff. They just don't do it. Right? I come from an era where we were punished when we were told you can't go outside. Now you punish a kid if you put them outside, a lot of these kids, right? Not all of them, right? But a lot of these kids, you put most of them, I would say, right? It has become such a comfortable life. I want you guys to understand that. I purposely get outside of this is a leadership tip I'm going to give you. I purposely continue to get myself out of my comfort zone. When I go to the gym, I have I work out hard, but in addition to that, there's this cold chamber machine that goes up. I don't know how many degrees. It's so cold. You're a popsicle. Okay. I go in there for about 3 minutes. Then I get out and I'm like defrosting for the first 15 minutes. First of all, it's got health benefits. It helps with recovery. There's a lot of things. But another major thing is that I continue to tell my subconscious mind, I am a winner. I am somebody who gets outside of my comfort zone. I am the person that does what other people are not willing to do. That way, by the time I turn 60, I'm going to look 40. Does that make sense? I'm going to be able to have that. My son, our youngest son, Alexander, is 2 years old. I'm going to play with him. I'm not going to be like broken down and stuff because I don't take care of myself. That's why I go to the chiropractor. I work out. I do what I got to do, take care of myself. I invest in my health. Right? Because I'm the guy that gets things done. Here's what I do. I look at what the majority of the people do. and I do the opposite in business and in health and in my diet. If you follow the masses, write this down. If you follow the masses, the M is silent. Okay? If you follow the masses, the M is silent. You want to fail? Follow the masses. All right? This is not the masses. Notice there's 10,000, there's 9,000, 8,000 people in this company. There's 63 of y'all here. This is not the masses. Because guess what? It is not for the masses. This is for the select few. And out of the 63 here, there's only 30 of you guys that are consistently every single week here. Most people are not going to be consistent. Just like January. That's my worst month to go to the gym. I hate January for that reason. All the posers and the temporarily motivated people are at the gym on January. Come February 15th, they're long gone. Okay? They're long gone in a you know, eating whatever they were eating before, right? That's why I don't like January. But I'm the guy that's at the gym 12 months out of the year. I'm getting it, right? So let's go. Funny story. At the convention, I had this lady go up to me. She says, JC, I got to tell you something. I said, yeah, go ahead and tell me. I was there with my wife. She says to my wife, and with all due respect to you, you're his queen. That's when I knew, oh, it's going to get real. She says, I got on one of your trains one day, and I didn't like you. I said, that's fair. That's fair. I'm a little aggressive at times, probably more than at times. So I understand that my stuff's not for everybody. She says, no. But after hearing your testimonial and where you come from and why you are the way you are, I get it. And I realize that what you say and what you teach is what I needed to hear. And I'm going to start getting on your trainings again. So you're more than welcome. I'm glad you're going to come back. But my point is, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Y'all know that. All right. Everyone in our company. So he's talking about, you know, for building, I'm going to read this last part again. For building a large and duplicating organization, I have found that a tool is the best step. Remember, our goal is to educate these people. Everyone in the company became focused on a daily method of operation. You guys ever heard me say that before? Everyone in the company focused on a daily method of operation that centered around inviting people to watch our video. We allowed no distractions. Here's what they were doing. They told everybody, what he did is he recorded a CD himself and he was selling it for 50 cents. He recorded it himself. It was a CD. So people could pop it in their car while they were driving, and he would pitch them the information, kind of like that 3-minute video that I posted here, solargoldrushvideo.com. Imagine that's being an audio. Now, YouTube didn't exist back then when he did this. Now you could see it. You could see the visuals. Back then, you could just hear it, right? I was recruiting in 2004 with a sizzle call. I had a guy come into a real estate office one day. He knew 3 of us there. He just come over here. He got one of those phones, office phones, put it on speaker, dialed into a number. The number asked him for a PIN code. He puts a PIN code in, and it was me, Jose, and Renee. We all listened to that audio. It was like a 3-minute audio that big pieced us on a company called ACN. It's still around now. That was Monday or Tuesday. On Thursday, we were at the event at a hotel meeting in Beverly Hills, California. Actually, Jose didn't go. Renee and I went. Jose didn't go. Renee and I went. We both signed up, paid $500 to join that company. Why? This is in 2004. Because some dude comes up to us. By the way, we were both sharper than that guy. This is very important for you guys to understand. We were both sharper than him. He used to raise pit bulls and sell them. That's what he did for a living. He used to breed pit bulls and sell them. That's what he did. But we were all friends. So he shows up. We were the business guys, and he was a business guy, actually. He was an entrepreneur. That was his business, right? So he was from the hood. He was from Linwood, California. But he shows up because somebody recruited him, and they told him this. You got to pique people's interest. You got to get people to listen to this audio. You call this phone number. It's free. And you dial this number. And then here's what comes up. And you get people to listen to that. And some are going to be interested. Some are not going to be interested. You don't worry about the ones that are not interested. Don't get emotionally attached. By the way, some of the people that you think will be interested will not be interested. And some of the people that you think won't will. Don't prejudge anybody. He shows up, plays that for us, puts it on speaker. We close the door because it's at our office. And we both listen to it. Man, this sounds pretty damn good. Huh. He said, we have an event going on this Thursday with one of the millionaires in the company in Beverly Hills at so and such hotel. We said, we'll be there. We both showed up there. we saw a full presentation that was not done by him. If he would have done the presentation, we would have said, nah, we're good, bro. You have no credibility to speak of, and your presentation sucked. But somebody else did the presentation, and we were like, sign us up. We both paid $500 that moment to sign up in that business. Right? The tools, let the tools do the heavy lifting for you. So let's keep going. The second career breakthrough took me from audio cassettes. Yes, I said audio cassettes. It was 1992. And that's all we had. The company was launching something new and exciting. This time I personally recorded an audio that explained the opportunity in detail. We sold it for 50 cents a piece, which covered all my costs. And in less than 1 year, that little audio cassette sold over 1 million copies. Why? Because he had a team and he was saying, master the mundane. Your daily method of operation is to expose at least 2 people per day. So everybody's goal was 2 people per day. Get 2 people per day to listen to this, and I'm unemotional. People I meet out and about, people that I know, 2 people per day. He says, we taught people how to invite prospects to take that cassette, put it in their car, and listen to it right away. The results were amazing. We trained people to get 100 cassettes at first, get them out to everyone they knew, and then had them focus on getting out 2 a day after that. Okay, so initially they got people, buy 100 of these cassettes, invest money in 100 of these cassettes. You got to get them out to everybody that you know. After you do that, your goal, part of the system, the daily method of operation, is to expose 2 people per day. He says, using that simple system, my income grew to almost $1 million a year. Almost, and mind you, we're not talking about $7,000 commissions. How many times have I mentioned you can make money selling solar and only selling solar? You want to make the big money? All of the biggest earners in this company, I guarantee, they're team builders. You guys have seen it. There might be one exception that sells a whole lot, but the majority, I'll tell you what, the ones that have the biggest checks and the biggest time freedom, very important, right? Biggest checks, biggest time freedom. They're team builders, 100% of it. 100% of the people that have the biggest checks and the biggest time freedom in this company are team builders. I became top mentor 2 years in a row, and this year I'm like number 13 or something, because I'm not selling solar, hardly selling solar at all, right? You know, for my standards. How did I become top mentor 2 years in a row? Not because I'm anything special, because I focus on team building. Some of you guys heard this a lot of times. My first 11 weeks, I became a mentor. By the time I became a mentor, 11 weeks later, I had a team of 40 people. About 20 of those people I personally recruited, because I went out there and I piqued the interest. I saw a presentation that I liked. I think it was Jonathan Bernal's presentation. Then eventually I created my own presentation and I was getting people to listen. That's a tool. And I didn't care if I sent it to 10 people and 2 of them came back and were interested and I signed up 1. Doesn't matter. Because write this down. Our resource in this business, our number 1 resource in this business, I'm going to give you the number 1 resource in this business. It's going to shock you how easy it is. Some of you guys are going to say, why is he telling me to write this down? Our number 1 resource in this business is people. Can we agree? People, all of you guys, guess what? I'm going to break it to you. Y'all are people, right? You guys are the biggest resource. We are the biggest resource. And people, there's more people being born than money's being printed. Well, that might not be the case since 2020, but usually speaking, right, there's more people being born than money's being printed. There is so many resources to go around. And there's no law that says you cannot talk to people. The thing is that most people are not willing to talk to enough people. So it says here, the key to success is your ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few simple things over an extended period of time. A few simple things over an extended period of time. So he says, here's a couple steps. And I'm going to give you the 8 steps to inviting that he says. Number 1, be in a hurry. When you're contacting people, be in a hurry. I'm going to elaborate on that. Number 2, compliment your prospect. Number 3, make the invitation. Number 4, would you, that is a part of the invitation that I've been trained on for years. If I fill in the blank, whatever their motivation is, would you be open to looking at some information? If Calvin's saying, hey man, I want to move back to Southern California, man, it's a lot better out there, but I got to, make $200,000 a year. Hey, Calvin, if I could show you how to make an extra $200,000 a year, right, in the next year or 2, would you be open to looking at some information? If somebody tells me I want to take my kids to a private school, but it takes $1,000 a month. Hey, if I could show you how to make that extra $1,000 a month part-time, would you be open to taking a look at that information? So if I, would you? And then step 5 is confirmation number 1, get the time commitment. Step 6, confirmation number 2, confirm the time commitment. Step number 7, confirmation number 3, schedule the next call. And then step number 8 is get off the phone. In my opinion, the confirmations are too many. You don't have to confirm so many doggone times, but this is, he's good. So I'm going to get into some of the invites here for the next 10 minutes that I've created here. So when it comes, this is in the Fast Start training. By the way, how many of you guys have seen my Fast Start training by show of hands, or put a 1 in the chat if you've seen my Fast Start training? If you have not, you can find it on YouTube or on the teamfreedomtraining.net website, teamfreedomtraining.net. It's the best Fast Start training in the whole company. Okay, it's got like 6,000 views. Okay, so remember the KISS method. Keep it super simple. Keep it super simple. It's not that hard. Our goal is to get the interest, get the bill, get the appointment when it comes to homeowners. So I'm not going to go through all of these invites. I'm going to give you guys an example. Okay, let's say I'm contacting a homeowner. Hey, Mike, I just started a new career in the solar industry and I'm super excited about it. I'm actually currently finishing up my certification, so I need to design 4 more solar savings reports and present them. Can you help me out with this, bro? Now, listen, you don't have to buy anything. You just have to let me present it to you. Now, if you allow me to do that, what happens is that my company will actually give you 3 nights and 4 days in Vegas, and then I get a bonus once I complete my 10. Does that sound fair enough? Could you help me? See, I'm leaning on the relationship. I'm telling them, I don't care if you buy. It doesn't matter, bro. I just need to complete 4 more. Okay, to complete my certification. Doesn't matter if you buy or not, bro. But also what they do for you, so you can help me get my certification done, is that they'll give you 3 nights and 4 days in Vegas. Not going to get into how that works. Go to Smart Solar Rep if you want to know. It's a membership. You get it for free for 7 days. Then after that, you got to upgrade. But you can send a bunch of free trips for the first 7 days. I recommend you guys check that out if you're interested. Okay. And of course, we know that we want to get the utility bill, the name, address, phone number, and email. This is on the Faster Training. I'm not going to get into this. So here's a couple of different invites. So he gets into different invites. Here's some of the invites for contacting people to get them in the business. Okay. So let's go here. Okay. Building organization. Hey, John. So first of all, when you call people, remember, step number 1 is to be in a hurry. Be in a hurry. So before anything, see, I don't want to put it on every slide. So I always, in the training, I let them know, be in a hurry. Meaning, let them know you don't have a lot of time to talk. Hey, Patty, listen, small talk, blah, blah, blah. Great. Listen, Patty, the reason I'm calling you is this. I know you're busy. I'm actually running to a meeting as well. But listen, the reason I'm calling you is I just launched my solar business and I'm super excited about it. I'm actually having a grand opening via Zoom because our company is a nationwide company. And our goal is to show people how to become our affiliates for free, because we actually pay $1,000 for any referral that they send to us that decides to go solar. Can I count on you to make it? This is for somebody that wants to set up a Zoom launch. That means that you make a list of 100 people. You get 10 people to tell you, I will show up to your Zoom. And you're going to get 2 to 5 that actually show up. Does that make sense? So I'm breezing through some of these, okay? This is the one that I teach everybody to do. Everybody should do this. This is how you go. And the first step is don't be a secret agent. This is how you don't be a secret agent. So you want to inform people you're in the industry, right? Hey, John, listen, I wanted to give you a call to let you know that I just, again, you already did the whole, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but listen, the reason I'm calling you is because I wanted to give you a call to let you know that I just got started in the solar industry, and 2 bullet points. I'm very excited about this, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 15 to 20 years. Anyways, man, I'm just letting you know in case you know of anybody who either, two bullet points again, in case you know of anybody who either has any questions about solar or anybody that may be interested in going solar, I'd appreciate if you'd keep me in mind. I'm going to give you guys a little tip here. You want to study, and by the way, maybe this month, and if not, probably October, I'm going to do, it'll be October. I'm going to do a communication and public speaking training. So listen to me here. I'm going to do a communication and public speaking training in my office in the 2nd floor. It's going to be free to the power reps, but I'm going to charge $100 to people that are not in power. So we'll get a couple people that are not in power to come in here, right? But to my power family, whether you're part of my team or not, I'm not charging you a dime. It's going to be a 3 to 4 hour training. on how to be a better public speaker and a better communicator. How many guys see value in that? By show of hands. Okay. I'm not making any money off of this. Okay. Well, from people that are not in power, I will, right? Because here's the deal. I could easily charge $500 and promote it to realtors and entrepreneurs around here, and I will get 30 people to pay $500 to do it. I just got to give myself 3 months to do it. That ain't my thing, though. I'd rather train my organization. Your communication skills will have a direct reflection on your income. If you become a better communicator, if you are a public speaker, you give off the credibility. People automatically perceive you to be an expert in your field. If they see pictures or videos of you speaking in public, that gives you credibility. So anyways, in October, I'm going to be doing that. So let's proceed. Here's why I said that. I'm going to read this and I'm going to go through it smooth and I'm going to tell you why and where. And these are some of the things I'm going to teach. If you guys notice good comedians, their pauses are on point. Their timing is on point. Their voice and fluctuations going up and down is on point, right? If you notice a good speaker, especially if they speak for long enough, because if they give them a 10-minute, segment, it's hard for them to really deliver. But the best ones can. But if you notice, they take you through a roller coaster of emotions. They'll make you laugh, right? They might even make you cry. They'll make you excited. They make it suspenseful, right? And it all has to do with your fluctuation. Again, your energy, when you slow it up, when you speed it down, your pauses, right? Your jokes. You can have some pre-written jokes, man, right? As long as you say them right, man, they hit the spot. So anyways, notice when I read this, I say, hey, listen, John, the reason I'm calling you, bro, is because I actually just got started in the solar industry, and I'm super excited about this. And frankly, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 15 to 20 years. Anyways, man, I just want to let you know, in case you know of anybody, who either has questions about solar, or if you know of anybody that may be interested in going solar, I'd appreciate if you keep me in mind, bro. You notice how it goes up and down a little bit. I'm not reading like a robot. And part of the reason why I'm not, which is one of the keys to public speaking and to communication, is you should practice your scripts. Because if you sound like you're reading it, you don't sound like an authority. If you sound like you're rehearsing a script, and it doesn't sound natural, you don't sound like an authority. So you don't sound like you're very confident either, right? So very important. So this is a script that I get into, right? That I teach my people. Here's another one. I'm going to read 2 more and we're done. Let's say they reply with anything positive. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. By the way, listen, my company has a really cool ambassador program. So I already informed them. He said, sounds good, bro. Keep in mind. He's not even saying he's going to be a customer or nothing. He just agrees and says something positive. Here's what I say then. I appreciate that, bro. By the way, listen. Our company has a really cool ambassador program where they'll actually pay you. They'll pay you $1,000 for anybody that you refer to as that decides to go solar. And you proceed to make them an ambassador because you should have 50 ambassadors. Write this down. 50 ambassadors your first year. That is your goal. But if you don't have it written down and if you don't have it in the vision, if you don't have it in your mind, 50 ambassadors, that's 1 a week. 50 ambassadors, then you're never going to get there because if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. How many guys really have a goal of how many ambassadors you're going to get? How many guys really have a goal of how much money you're going to make by the end of the year? You got to know where you're going, right? So let's go one more. Okay. So at the end of the day, remember, this is a contact sport. The more people you contact, the better you're going to do. I recommend you guys want more of these scripts, go through the Fast Start training. Okay. And the last thing to finish off is this: 3-way calls. If I pique somebody, let's say I pique Michael's interest, right? Michael's interested. He says, yeah, man, I'm open. So let's say, for example, I go to him and I do a generic invite. Hey, Michael, what are you doing tonight at 5 p.m. that's more important than learning how to make $100,000 in the next 12 months? I know that the real estate business has taken a hit, but what are you doing today at 5 o'clock that's more important than learning how to make $100,000 from your existing clientele in the next 12 months? See, he's a realtor. You see that? And I know that most realtors are suffering. So what if I say to the realtor, hey, what are you doing today at 5 o'clock that's more important than learning how to make an extra $100,000 from your existing clientele in the next 12 months? Fill in the blank, right? So to replace your income, to be financially free, whatever their motivation is, what are you doing at so-and-so time on this day that's more important than fill in the blank? Now, this is an aggressive approach, and this is generally works best with trusted people. So let's say he says, JC, yeah, go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard somebody. So let's say he says, JC, you know what? I have an appointment today at 5, man, but let me see what I could do. Right? Hey, no problem. At that point, I will send him the 3-minute video to pique his interest and then get him to show him the full presentation. But let's say he gets on and he sees a full presentation and he's got questions and I'm new. I do a 3-way call with my leadership expert, right? So I look in the leadership. Hey, I got a gentleman who's a real estate agent. He's excited. He's got some questions. I don't know how to answer them. This is you, the Y. The P is a prospect and the E is your expert. Between you and your expert is your job to build the respect between your prospect and your expert. So you let the prospect know, I'm going to put you on the phone with a gentleman that's my mentor, that's got a lot of years of experience, that's crushing in this business. Let me see if I could get some of Mr. Last Name's time. You address them by their last name. And the prospect, you address them by their first name. Hey, Mr. Brunasso, I've got my friend Michael here. Michael's a real estate agent. Took a look at the presentation, very excited. Michael, I've got Mr. Brunasso here. He was kind enough to give us a couple of minutes of his time. And yeah, Mr. Brunasso, Michael has a couple of questions. If you could spend a couple of minutes and answer his question, that'd be great. At that point, what the expert's probably going to do is share a little bit of the story and answer the questions. Because between you and your prospect, usually if it's your warm market, there's trust, but there's not credibility, especially when it comes to this business because you're new. So your job is to build the credibility and the respect between your prospect and the expert. So your prospect knows that your expert knows what he's talking about. So then what happened is the expert does the heavy lifting for you. They answer the questions with authority, right? Now your prospect's like, hey, man, I'm ready to go. This is exciting. I see how I could make 6 figures for my existing clientele. My business is slowing down right now. This is a great pivot. Thank you for introducing me, JC. How do I sign up? Jonathan answered my questions to my liking. I'm ready to go. And you sign them up. But notice what you did. You use a script that you can use, that anybody can use if they practice. You use the tools to pique his interest. If he's got questions, you use a 3-way call. All this is third party. The presentation is third party. The 3-way call is third party. Third party means anything but you, right? And you got him to sign up in your team. So anyways, that's it for today. Next week, we're going to go through chapter number 3, skill number 3. Make sure you guys tune into next week. And if you didn't see last week's, make sure you guys catch it. I appreciate you guys. We got people here at the office already. We're going to close this out. What's up, guys? Girls? All right.